Of Q broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part, there are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Take a second and think about your current bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we're slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there. It's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen. It invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app. It's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, and
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrison?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform.
Selling real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John Age Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John Age, hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State. I will be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Check out anomicage.com if you've not already done so. Please like all the likes. Subscribe to all the subscriptions. Pardon me. PayPal.me/anomicage. Patreon.com/anomicage as well. That is the best way that you can support me, find everything you need and all that in some of the bag of chips. Free iPhone app, free Android app, subscribe by email link. So much more. You can definitely support me right there. We got the Cash App, Patreon. Anything else? Buy me a cup of coffee. I always forget that one. And Satoshis, for heaven's sakes, Satoshis. And just share the links if you can, if you shall, if you may. Just share those links. You can share the live stream for all I care. It'd be awesome. But anyway, so much to get into this evening. So very, very much to get into. Title of tonight's episode. We'll see anyway. Well. Yep, we're back. I don't know, no blipping idea what's going on here. I know everything's up and running. I know everything's state of the art. I'm just going to move on. Thanks for joining us, folks. Please check out anomicage.com once again if you missed anything. Title of tonight's episode. We are sitting at information breakdown segment 484. Okay. Screw
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening.
Let's just.
Fallon Rail and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John H. Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John Age. Fuck it. I swear, just the whole thing. We're shutting it down. I'll be back in a minute. God willing, folks.
Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
Hi there, folks. We're going to try this for the third time, and then we're just going to wrap it up. And I'll just put this out on my own social media platforms because I don't really know what the devil the problem is, but it's kind of becoming exhausting. Please check out anomicage.com if you've not already done so. Looks a little bit like this. Like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. PayPal.me/anomicage. Patreon.com/anomicage as well. Free iPhone app, free Android app, subscribe by email link, and so much more. You guessed it, it's right there at anomicage.com. So, that being said, as a kid, I used to think the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, although I loved them, although they're kind of farcical, where they had the gremlin in there with the guy with like the airplane wings, and he was in there whacking on parts of the plane, and Bugs was trying to stop him. Classic World War II propaganda stuff. Anyway, as farcical as I thought that was back in the day, I am almost convinced that is a reality around this studio. It's pretty funny though, it really is. Anyway, you didn't come here for a progress report on the studio, and we'll cover what we need to cover here in just a minute. So, what we actually wanted to talk about this evening, let's see if we can possibly pull this up. Well, here's the thing, folks. I was good to go about 45 minutes before the show. Had the whole thing all wrapped in a nice little bow for you. And then I started getting news of this incident at about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here. And, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to wait for the other shoe to drop and sort of see what's up with this whole thing. And that's what happened. The other shoe, I guess, has finally dropped right now. It's so weird when you look at the media landscape today, because full disclosure, I just view all media as BS at this point in the game. So that's kind of why I was holding my cards a little close to the vest as to whether or not I was even going to cover this element this evening. And, from 6 on, it just kind of became more and more of an issue. And I was like, okay, all right, fine. I feel compelled now to at least cover this topic and just kind of see how it goes. So who the heck knows? We'll just see how it goes. In a minute, I'll just start talking in prose. The best part is when you have to actually shut your whole system down twice now. Everything's kind of fouled up. So just bear with me for a moment this evening, folks, and we'll kind of get through this whole thing. So I was going to mention, probably what you saw there on the show notes, if you will. Oh, yes, I can show you that. Let's see. Well, I guarantee I'm going to show you this one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. Just bear with me just a moment, because we're going to show this sucker one way or the other. The actual image for the show for the evening. Yep. That's the one. It's okay. It's totally all right. So the snipe hunt fatigue, the Charlie Kirk snipe hunt fatigue, that's actually what we're going to cover this evening. That's going to be the bread and butter of tonight's show. And that's one way or the other. If I have to do this with a puppet show or shadow puppets on the blipping wall, is exactly what we're going to cover this evening. That being said, we're also going to cover just a wee bit more, because we had some breaking news here around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the formerly great state of North Carolina. So I felt kind of compelled to talk about that too. So University of North Carolina, Wilmington, I believe you know what that's all about. You've seen all the the hoopla in the last 48 hours, I guess you could say, where they had some sort of vigil a few nights ago. And then, of course, they had the usual suspect people come out there, not even 24 hours afterwards, breaking the supposed protocol of the Universidad and painting up the mural and doing the usual suspect stuff that the usual suspect people do. That being said, flash forward to today, we started getting these bips and blobs here around 6, like I said. And I guess I'll start with the company line. So the company line, as it were, is this. I'll read it verbatim for you because someone's going to misconstrue las palabras. Message from la Universidad de Wilmington. Please be aware that much information is circulating on social media. Here are some facts about today's events. This afternoon and evening, multiple reports came in claiming an armed attacker was on campus. The reports have been investigated and found to be untrue. We intend to thoroughly review each of these sources and provide more details in the coming days. So that's kind of the short of it, I suppose. Por el día. Other things that you might have heard on the social media. This is, again, unconfirmed, but I'll read it to you anyway. 5 with guns, 3 caught. Allegedly, at least a couple guys escaped into the woods. I don't know. According to the company line, that's all Boulder Dash. So take it with a grain of salt if you want to. I'm not really really clear on what to take it as at this moment in the game. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, which is exactly what I'm going to cover for the Snipe Hunt version of the show. All right, let's go ahead and put these images on the screen anyway. This is one of the first videos, and this is from Wilmington. I'm just going to play them. I don't even have a comment on them at this point in the game, folks. It's kind of too early to tell. And I'm looking at the feed here, like up to date, trying to figure out if there's any other shoes dropping. And at the moment, I don't see any other shoes dropping. So here you go. Let it do what it do. Again, is that legit? I don't know. Everything's faked with AI these days. So that could be legit. It could be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man out of Ghostbusters. I don't know. Just showing you what I'm seeing on the social media, folks. Take it with the grain of salt. Yep. La policía. A la universidad. Sounds like some from Soylent Green. The scoops are on their way. The scoops are on their way. I don't know. Just giving you what I got.
Holy shit.
All right.
Holy shit.
A lot of cops driving across the green. Hi. Feel you. No clue what's going on here. Looks like it's some people put this online from a dorm. It's looking like, I don't know.
Holy shit.
More people doing some cursing. The cops running across.
Oh.
Before you were seeing the cops driving across the grass. Now you see cops running across.
Oh. My
God. Not clear what building they're in here. Looks like some sort of eatery on campus there. Cops running around outside. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's go to take number 3.
Oh my God.
Kind of the same image there.
Holy
Cops
shit.
running across some sort of cemented area in front of one of the main buildings. I think this is kind of a rinse and repeat of what we just saw. Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Oh.
This is one I kind of find quite intriguing. Looks like some girls in a dorm are filming from the inside to the outside.
Oh my
Looks
God.
like somebody approaching the door with a gun. I'm assuming
That is
that's
a gun.
policia.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
I'm
my
assuming
God.
that's policia. I'm gonna leave it right there for you, folks. So, what can you say? Strange? I don't think so. It's par for the course, folks. It's really just par for the course. I mean, I could do a whole show on this. K through 12 indoctrination, college, university weaponization. I don't know. I'm just going to give you the company line right now, which says nothing to see here. Move along, little doggies. It was just, what'd they call it? I was going to say false flag, but no, it was a false alarm. There you go. Close, but no cigar. False alarm, it appears to be. So I guess we'll just wait and see. All right, folks. Let's move into what we actually came here for, shall we? Snipe hunt fatigue. Yeah, that's exactly what we got to get into this evening is a little snipe hunt fatigue. It perplexes me every time that it does this kind of jive mess. Let's just see here. Let's just take a gander and see what in the devil there is to see here. Just bear with me a moment, folks. I usually am not this fouled up in this department, but, you know. Let's just take a look and see here, folks. Yep. We're just going to play around with this jive mess because obviously there's some kind of problem going on. That's okay. Totally all right. It's to be expected, actually, I guess, at this point in the game. I mean, when you've had to shut down your whole system twice before the show actually gets started, this is kind of standard stuff, huh? We're not going to get upset about it. We're just going to let it roll off our backs. There, it's us. Yep. Wonder what in the devil could be happening here. Let's just go to commercial. Why don't we do that?
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Yep. That's exactly what's going on here, folks. What do you know? Dreams can't come true, folks. Don't ever let people tell you otherwise. You know, dreams can come true. You can actually get things to work, a good 20 minutes into the show, even in situations like this. So what I was trying to say about 5 minutes ago now is that I usually do not do copious amounts of note-taking and just fill up notebooks and type dissertations to do a show. That's not how things work for me around here. But I really wanted to be very thorough in tonight's coverage and not really miss much. I'm sure it's just such an inundation of dung at this point in the game. It's really impossible not to miss something because you would just have to doom scroll for your entire life, basically, to keep up with the Charlie Kirk snipe hunt, which is what we got going on. I guess you could really more aptly word it the Charlie Kirk assassination snipe hunt. That's really what this is. Charlie Kirk assassination snipe hunt. That was going to be far too large of a title, so I just went with snipe hunt fatigue. Snipe hunt fatigue is what exactly this is. We've heard a lot of talk over the last few, I guess, months now, where you had black fatigue. Is it Jew fatigue? Is it globalist fatigue? It's all everybody's getting fatigued, for good reason, and because the world we live in is an open sewer. But I digress. A lot of fatigue, plenty of fatigue to go around. Make no mistake about it. So I got to tell you, folks, and this might irk some people, might tweak your nose. If that's the case, just go somewhere else. I don't care. But this might irk some people because we've gotten in this weird state, which is what I discussed on the previous episode when I said this was a social contagion. And it was really kind of predicated on the emotional contagion that caused the social contagion of this whole thing. So that's really what this is. And I'm sure a lot of people would just love me to get right in line and kiss the ring and bow. And I even saw something today. I hope this was just tongue-in-cheek hyperbole, but good night, nurse. We live in such a fouled up society. I don't even know anymore. I saw something to the effect of like Saint Charlie Kirk. It was an image of him with the like the Catholic sainthood and regalia and all this mess. And I was like, good grief, are you kidding? It ain't right when it's St. George Floyd. That was like the most blasphemous bunch of bull I've ever heard. And likewise, it is not also right to be sainthooding anybody right now. This is retarded, folks. Totally insane. This is exactly what it says. So I'm sure that I would get far more likes. The show would be just a glowing example of how to do things, if I would just get in line and just kiss the ring, I guess, and just say, Trump's 100% right. Israel is our greatest ally. We need to go attack Venezuela, take out Iran, to see if we can just expand the territory of Israel some more. Maybe I'd get one of those invites that everybody's talking about to go kiss Netanyahu, or I guess it's kiss the wall with Netanyahu, right? Anyway, I don't know. I'm sure things would work out, and I would have zero technical difficulties if that was going on. I promise. It's not on my end of the hardware, folks. I guarantee. I have no clue what's going down. Maybe it's OBS. I don't know. If only I would stand in line with the rest of the boobs and not be a contrarian, don't you know? But as you might know, if you don't, you will soon. That ain't my MO, folks. That's not the way I roll. Slightly contrarian would be the understatement of my life. So tonight we're going to cover the snipe hunt that is the Charlie Kirk assassination. I'm going to try to go through it step by step by step. Let me see. I know I'm going to miss stuff, but I've written quite a bit down. I've covered most, that's like the first quarter of this on the previous show, but in case someone missed those hilarities, we got to go over them again. So now we've got acoustics. Acoustic experts are saying that the shot that killed Charlie Kirk came from 70 to 90 feet away, not the 250 yards that was first touted by the media. The right, left, social, antisocial, and otherwise media was touting this red herring. It was 25 yards away. It was directly across. I even touted that because that was like day 0 of this. And I'm like, all right, I guess so. We had not yet seen the other shoes dropping. Now shoes are dropping. I'll clean it up and say they're dropping like leaves are beginning to fall in the western part of the state. Yeah. So now we have an ample amount of shoes dropping. So the acoustics tend to prove otherwise. What else we got? In case you haven't seen this, just melee of video, just a ridiculous amount of video. We got, it's kind of like that old song. Oh my goodness. What does it say? Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am. Except in this instance, it is it's shooters to the left of me, shooters to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle, I guess, because there's just apparently shooters all over the place. That's kind of all I can glean from this one. Shooters everywhere in this Charlie Kirk debacle. So we definitely got shooters everywhere on this one. Let me see here. What the heck is going on here? Okay, we'll see. Anyway, so we had the shooter on the left, which was the guy with the palm gun, if I'm not mistaken. And then on the right, you had a possible other shooter right there in the crowd. Looked like he's like 10 feet away from the guy at some point in the game. We don't know what to think of that one either. But who the heck knows, folks? That's all I can say. Who the heck knows? This is quite bizarre, I got to say. Very much bizarre. Let's see about something here, folks. I'm not going to stop until I actually get exactly what I want on the screen. So we had the clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right edition of the show. And that would be kind of into day 2. Day 2, we had this asinine notion of those two incidences or incidences. And then we rolled in and we had some other characters on the scene. Let me see here. That's fine. Screw it. Then we had some other incidents on the scene because then it wasn't the guy on the left. It wasn't the guy on the right. It was a possible guy in the stairwell on the right. And you had the muzzle flash. Everybody was breaking it down frame by frame. Then it was this, I know, discernment. It actually wasn't an entry wound. It was perhaps an exit wound that we saw with Charlie Kirk gushing blood there. So it was highly possible that it was, in fact, just an exit wound, I guess. So there was that. There we go. I knew we could pull this off. I swear, I knew it. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for helping me out here because I was darn near losing my mind. Okay, watch this. Anyway, so then we had the it's the right, it's the left, it's a guy in the stairwell, there's a muzzle flash, and all things in between. So then we were left with that. Let me see where that takes us to, right about here. Then we saw the footage that, in fact, there was a camera behind Charlie Kirk. Let's see if we got that one. Yep, that's the evidence here. Behind old Charlie Kirk, there was a camera. And then there's this guy taking the camera, and it seems pretty clear to me he's taking the memory chip out of it as he goes over there. So there's clearly a camera behind him. Yeah, that's the guy taking the card out of the camera there. Yeah. So there's that. And then we roll on and we see that there's a camera in front of him. There's a camera behind him. And we can't seem to get any of this footage, which is pretty bizarre. But wait, there's more, because there's even more mounting evidence now that, in case you hadn't figured this out, he's on a college campus. There's cameras everywhere. Their big shtick is safety. So there's cameras everywhere, on every building, on every lamppost, and every trash can, on every statue, and every clump of bushes or grassy knoll, there's a camera. But yet, we can't seem to find anything more compelling than the Zapruder film, or perhaps the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot footage here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just flipping comical that the proverbial they are passing this joke level mess off as don't worry, we found our guy. It's just this patsy. I mean, it's just a suspect. He's our guy, though. His dad turned him in and everything. Why would his dad turn him in if he wasn't the guy, He didn't confess for 2 days, and then he finally confessed. It's just like, but, we can live in the land of make-believe some more, because there's so much more. What else we got? We got this guy. Let's zoom in on this guy a little bit, because you need to. This is one of the many guys on the scene. That's a cop. Allegedly. I don't know. Maybe he's got a Lone Ranger badge. Who the heck knows at this point in the game? But we see in a video, I didn't play this video for you. He's showing his little badge. Then he sees the camera popping up and panning to him, and he takes his badge off and puts it in his pocket. Pero por qué? But why? Why would you do that? Just seems strange, doesn't it? Don't worry, there's a bevy of other people that might or might not be law enforcement, cops, or just weirdos with guns. We don't know. That's the funny, not funny, of this whole rigmarole. So we've run through that little bit and bob here. What else we got? Cam on him. Yeah. Timestamps. This came out just today. I saw this new little bit in Bob. The timestamps ain't adding up. I mean, this is just hilarious upon hilarious, right? So according to the timestamps, if you actually put them in place with the alleged footage that they currently have, this guy's running across the roof before the shots even ring out. What? Which means whoever they got on the roof, if they even got the guy that was on the roof, was doing some running before anybody was doing some shooting. It's just not just bizarro world, you folks. And then if you even buy the footage of the guy jumping down from the roof, the whole thing adds up. Not at all. It adds up like Obama math or something stupid. You know, it's just like they showed us this Joker jumping off the roof. And I remember all the first day coverage, the Alex Jones channel was like, oh, yeah, it's clearly he's got a rifle bag and he's jumping down. Like, what the? Have you never seen a rifle bag, buddy? Like, I got one in the closet. I'm just not going to show it to you, but it doesn't flop over, you know? And a rifle is not small enough to fit in this little tiny bag that this guy had. He had like, obviously a small duffel bag. It was not a rifle bag. Okay. And then the hilarious footage that they also showed, I didn't pull this one for you either, but the footage of the alleged suspect coming up the stairs. Yeah, that guy looks not at all like the guy that they allegedly have in custody now. Tyler Robinson. Had to look him up there. Old Tyler didn't look like the guy coming up the stairs, but they want you to believe that Tyler Robinson, like, I guess, hibbity hopped up the stairs like a one-legged guy on a peg leg. Maybe he's Captain Hook or something. He peg-legged up the stairs with the rifle in his pants. What? That, again, the logistics of this make no sense. To anyone that's ever looked at a rifle, that makes no sense. It's going to be real obvious unless you're wearing maybe like those stupid Jinko jeans from like 20 plus years ago, 30, I think. Maybe they wouldn't show the obvious print of a big rifle, 30-06, allegedly. But don't worry, because here's more of the calculus that the proverbial they want you to buy into. So this Joker snuck the rifle in his pants, I guess. Or was it in the towel? That's the other hilarity. He's rolling around on campus, I guess, like 8 a.m. with a full-length rifle, a long rifle here. Not a submachine gun, you know, like not like a short barrel, like a regular length rifle wrapped in a towel. And nobody's like, you know, I kind of think that guy's got a rifle. I mean, it looks like a towel, but I bet you a nickel in that daggone towel's a rifle. You know what I'm saying? Does this, you know, it's just like, does not compute. The answer is non sequitur. That's kind of what I have ringing in my head right now because it's complete baloney. Complete and utter baloney. So yeah, timestamp's not adding up. What else have we got? This I don't have a picture for you, but the crime scene never appears to be roped off. You know, we're like 8 days into this now. I've yet to see any footage of the stereotypical yellow crime scene tape. I haven't seen footage one of that in anybody's feed anywhere at all. Again, you would kind of think, you know, if it's a crime scene, if it's the most mundane of crime scenes, you're still going to have the tape and you're going to cordon off the area and you're going to collect evidence. That's the stuff in the crime scene perimeter. Yeah. But you don't see any of that. What we have seen that I reported, I think 3 shows ago, is some low-class piece of trash stealing hats from the crime scene. And the cops just kind of like, don't do that, Bo. He should have tackled that scumbag to the ground, put him in handcuffs and arrested him. You're tampering with evidence at a crime scene. So, I mean, are the police, did they get these guys from Mayberry? I mean, I'm just so perplexed. Like, it's a crime scene. It's a really big, well-known, lots of cameras, eyes on this crime scene, and this guy's letting some boob steal hats. I mean, what kind of security or police is working this crime scene? I just, call me crazy, just seems a little odd. But wait, there's more, because just like when old Trump was allegedly shot, I say high emphasis on allegedly, the FBI quickly, like same day, was like washing away evidence on top of the roof. Wax on, wax off. We wash away the evidence here in America. Didn't you know that? I mean, after all, remember the false flag of 9/11? People were out there, as quickly as possible, like hauling off debris. Like, well, there's nothing to see here. I mean, they didn't have to do that in Shanksville because nothing crashed there. So it's like there was no, like the only plane crash in history is like, there's no debris here at all. The American public's like, it was a plane crash. What? Like, the average 2-year-old's going, no, it's not a plane there. It's dumb. What are you talking about? Same thing with the Pentagon. A Pentagon, I mean, missile, I mean, Pentagon. Yeah, missile hit the Pentagon. No plane wreckage anywhere. But don't worry, the American people are the dumbest people on the planet. So they're like, oh, yeah, it's totally plane to the Pentagon. Hit a Shanksville, too. Good night, nurse. But anyway, back to the crime scene. Don't worry, because the crime scene was covered up, I believe, yesterday. They were paving over the crime scene. They had pavers and everything down there, putting it over the crime scene. You can't make this up. Yeah. I mean, the guy almost became myself. The guy hasn't even hardly been cold for a couple of days, and they're covering up the crime scene like he's been dead 20 years. Which reminds me a lot. I know somebody's like, why do you keep tinkering with stuff? Because it makes me crazy. It might not remind you of this, but it should remind you of the JFK assassination, where they've completely changed the route of the original configuration of the road. They've completely taken away where there was a sewer and banister area where it was probably a sniper nest, where he popped up there kind of in like a little culvert area and then ducked back down. Anyway, long story short, they've covered that up. They've changed it all completely so as nobody would be the wiser that obviously JFK was killed by, guess who? The Easter Bunny and the 7 Dwarves. Anyway, so, much like I keep saying on the show, it begoggles me that anybody is believing this BS. It really is insane. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. Okay. In case I hadn't already mentioned this, there's also a trap door. Yeah. You can see all this all over social media. There was a small trap door, appears to be about right where old Charlie Kirk was sitting, that now they've, of course, paved over. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. But wait, there's more. We got to show you this one. This one, Candace Owens released this a few hours ago, and this is putting the timestamp of our illustrious Patsy Tyler. He appears to be, I can't remember where they said he was. He was basically in someplace eating, like 15 minutes away from the crime scene, and this was timestamped at 6:38. So if you're connecting all the timestamps that they've already given you in this nicely packaged with a bow on it for the American morons, Patsy, then that just doesn't add up, folks. It's really what it boils down to. He's just, I guess, chilling, eating at his place, having a gay all time. And nobody would do that if they had just shot some guy 15 minutes away. You would actually try to flee and get away from the area. I mean, that's what I would think. And they're going to say, oh, he was deranged and he was a tranny and I just don't even care. I think this is BS. It doesn't add up. Okay. So yeah, I'm saying if he's over here at 6:38, 15 minutes from the crime scene, and you're looking at all the other timestamps that they've neatly put in a nice little bundle to give you as a Halloween treat, it don't add up. Again, it's baloney. Sorry, it ain't Tyler. You're just not going to convince me of this. The rabbit hole just keeps on going from the sublime to the purely stupid. We got this one. Yeah. And here's something I've seen nobody discuss yet. No one's discussed this yet. Check this out, folks. I'm going to give you 3 different images of Tyler. Okay. Here he is, day of the incident. Take a gander at what he's repping here. He's got his burgundy t-shirt. He's got blue jeans on. He's got his black cap and some black sunglasses on top. It looks like he's repping some white tennis shoes. They do not appear to be Converse here, so I don't know what those are. But just look at his attire here. I'm going to give you 3 different images. You tell me what's up. This is apparently a completely different day. Way in El Pasado, clase. But look, he's repping the same thing. I think this image right here, they've clearly enhanced that, or like it's in more of a high def because the color contrast is much greater than what we're seeing here. But I swear to you, this looks like the exact same outfit. Here he is. Allegedly this is his dorm room. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. I don't know if this is his house or what. But check it. It's the same blipping outfit. Am I crazy? It sure looks like it to me. Maybe this picture is a newer version of the same outfit, or maybe it's the same blipping outfit. You tell me, folks. I don't know. I'm going to come back to this bit in a minute. Here's another one. Here's the third image. Congratulations. I'm not even going to play this. This is his accepting, I've got the scholarship. Remember that line? We heard that the first day. He was a good kid. He had all this going for him. He was an engineer. Yeah, here's him. Here's him. I got the scholarship speech. The only thing he's missing is the cap and the sunglasses. This is the same blipping outfit. Here's this in 1. Here's this in 2. Here's this in 3. I mean, again, call me crazy here, folks. Please feel free. The only time you've ever seen anybody not wear different clothing in multiple pics is if they're a cartoon. I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. So in all the Scooby-Doo cartoons, no matter what season, no matter what episode, Velma's wearing the same thing. Fred, Daphne, Shag, on down the line, they're all wearing the same outfit. Okay. So if you're in a cartoon, then okay, carte blanche to wear the same outfit forever. Okay, cool. If you're in the Heaven's Gate cult, those dudes all, chopping their twig and berries off, wearing the same jumpsuit with the same Nikes and all that mess. Yeah. Okay. So if you're in the Heaven's Gate cult, cool. You're wearing the same outfit. I'm trying to think of another time. The only other time that this would hold true is if it's a situation where it's like the police or military and they're on duty or active duty for the military. So, I mean, yeah, if you're in the military and you're active duty, you're probably going to wear the same fatigues, the same insignia, the same name and everything. Also, if you're a police officer, you're going to have that same sort of attire on if you're on a shift, if you're working. Okay. Other than that, there's no way that you got 3 images, different times, different place, different everything, and this dude's repping the same gear. I am not buying that for a moment, folks. I don't know why nobody else is talking about this, but repping the same gear. Here, y aquí. What are the chances? What are the odds, folks? Anybody want to question his parents and be like, yo, dude, did y'all just not provide this cat some clothing? I mean, I wear similar clothing quite often, but not the same clothing. Very strange. Muy extraña, gentes. Pero por qué? Tenemos más. We got some more for you. Betcha. Check this out. This is even more of the weapons of the weird. Valhalla, Goat Island Marine Reserve. Goat Island Marine Reserve. This is what this joker's got on his desktop computer in his domicile. That's what that is. If you pull that up, you're going to get this image right here. And that is indeedly due Goat Island Marine Reserve, also known as Valhalla. Yeah, there's a joint there called Valhalla. There's a place on the Goat Island Marine Reserve called Valhalla. And don't forget, old Kash Patel, I think this cat's Hindu. I could be mistaken. But clearly old Charlie was not Hindu. He was a Christian. And old Kash Patel's like, I'll see you in Valhalla, you know, great warrior, your duty's done or whatever. I mean, I don't even know. That was the most bizarre. No, I take that back. Because, I mean, we had 4 years of Biden, and that was nuts. Anyway, the Kash Patel stuff is always awkward and always super bizarre. There's never a time when I've seen anything that dude's had anything to do with and meant like, okay, that was totally normal. It's always this really weird thing. And that was too. So coincidence? I don't know. Why has he got a picture of Valhalla on his desktop and then Kash Patel's up there talking about Valhalla? What a weird thing to say. Very, very weird. Oh my goodness. All right. Other stuff that's not necessarily got an image going to it. This one, we actually do have an image. This one, put that one on screen real quick. This was Robert W. Kirk. That'd be Charlie Kirk's padre. Yeah. And he was also primary architect of Trump Tower. What? It just gets more and more deranged. Hence the snipe hunt fatigue. Let's roll through the rest of these. We got to. I don't believe I have an image for this. I have so many images. It's just beyond belief. I have so much for this one show. So this is Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica. Frantre. Frantzre. Frantzre. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, if I'm not, no main portion. So Charlie Kirk's wife, that's this lady. If you look and do a little compare and contrast, the lady that we saw on the screen about 72 hours ago really doesn't look a bleep of a lot like earlier pictures of Charlie Kirk's wife, but I don't know. Maybe people change. Seasons change. Maybe she's had some work done. I don't know. Don't look a lot like the other woman, but who knows? What do we do know about old Erica? Is now she's the unanimous CEO voted in by the board, I guess. I don't know what need a vote for that, but I guess she's the new CEO of Turning Point USA. So I guess Ben Shapiro is going to be crying in his, I don't know, matzo balls or something. He ain't going to be getting Turning Point, I guess. I guess it's going to be Erica. So she was already a millionaire before her and Charlie met. Now she's an even multi-millionaire, I'm knowing. On top of that, allegedly, Turning Point USA had quite the multi-million-dollar war chest just in case old Charles Kirk was thinking about running for presidente después Trump. So now I guess old Erica's going to get a whole lot of dinero. I'm not throwing barbs here. I'm not being disparaging here. I'm being factual here. Just being factual, folks. Nothing but the facts here. What's that old OJ song? For the love of money. How's that go? Somebody look it up in the comments. You know the OJs, you're going to know what the rest of the song lyrics are. For the love of money. People, well, yeah, they're going to do something, all right. Anyway, what's up with Erica? Why have we got this picture on the screen? Why does anyone care? My gracious goodness sakes alive. She went to a Jesuit university, died. Regis University, Liberty University in Arizona State. But Regis is the Jesuit university. Ooh. Pull out the old hat. What else do we got? Oh, yes, that ridiculous incident that I covered on the previous show where, you know, everybody would do this, though, right? You've just had the love of your life, your spouse shot, live on TV, you're going to have a private moment. Nah, we're going to get a film crew in there. We're going to film me bawling all over my deceased spouse that looks like he's got Play-Doh hands. Anyway, while she was doing all this, she also had a G ring and everybody saying, ooh, ooh, Masonic ring. I don't know. Doesn't look like Shaq's Masonic ring, but maybe she's got one of the smaller size. I don't know. I'm just giving you the realness. What else we got? We got everybody a buzz in the last 24 hours of her Knights of Malta cross. Ooh. So apparently Erica's repping a regular cross and then a Knights of Malta cross too. All right, I guess. And then I guess about 24 hours before that, it was a buzz because she was waving out the window, and I guess she had her hands like this, and everybody's like, "Ooh, she's giving the Illuminati signal or something." I guess. I don't know. We got footage of old Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens doing the old triangle sign with their hands. Yeah, I don't know. Looks fishy to me, but who knows? Who knows, folks? I apologize for crunching ice in the microphone, though. I know that's griping in some ways. To which I say, away with you. Hasta luego. So anyway, that's old Erica Kirk. That's where she's sitting at about right now. But wait, there's more. There's a whole lot more. What else we got? We got this on the screen. It looks like Charlie Kirk building a legacy, remembering Charlie Kirk. Remarks delivered by who you would expect them to be delivered by. Erica Kirk, Donald John Trump, and J.D. Vance, until he changes his name for the fourth time. Yeah, old J.D. Vance, he popped up on the scene. He, I guess, escorted the body in Air Force Two. I mean, his hands was all over this mess. Pun intended on the hands thing, I guess. I mean, it's just like, what the? You got to step back and like just soak it all in, folks. Soak it all in. The Charlie Kirk memorial flyer here, irony upon ironies, has no picture of the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the hour, Charlie Kirk. What's up with that? How is that even possible? I'm telling you what, folks, if I have a memorial with my name on it for me and my picture in it, I'm going to pop out the grave and come for some people. All right, we have a litany of these now.
And probably the third. Okay.
I'll set this up for you. This is a alleged person that was right over there next to the whole thing as it went down. He's on live camera here. He's about to tell us the realness, about to drop some dimes. Until
I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I saw him. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off. Get off me! Get off me!
Emotions are running high right now.
I don't know why they'd be running high. People just telling people what they saw.
Hang on.
How odd. So I don't know who that young man is, and I don't know why nobody can seem to find him. But it would be nice, wouldn't it, to figure out who the heck he is and why he's being shut up and who he's being shut up by. Seems to me like he's getting shut up by some feds. Because, I mean, they look like typical feds to me. They all have to. That's why I mentioned that before. It's cops and military. I guess you could throw feds in there, too, along with cartoon characters and Heaven's Gate cult members that dress alike. So maybe that's what's up. Either way, he was confronted by feds, or I guess a bunch of guys who just like to dress alike. It looked like a Patriots. What's that idiotic BS? Patriots front or something? Where everybody's got a mask on and they all have the same build and the same body type and the square jaw and the same BTU pants and the same everything. And somehow we're supposed to believe, and I guess most people do, this is an organic militia group. They're called Patriots Front or whatever. Anyway, these clowns had all the hallmarks of Patriots front or whatever you want to call it. Dressing alike and everything else, and just stopping the interview and putting hands on this man. Can you imagine that? Putting hands on this man and shutting him up from the mid-interview? My goodness gracious sakes alive. That's not how it was. I'm gonna keep my mouth pick a lot, as the great Bernard P. Fife would say. All right, we got more for you. This is just a smattering of people with guns on the scene. Are these guys cops? Are they guys at all? They might be trannies. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a plethora of dudes on the scene with weapons. I'm going to assume that they're all cops. Just like I assumed that from the UNCW video that I showed you earlier. I'm going to assume that they were all cops and they were just showing off, I guess, because they weren't protecting the crime scene. Oh, no. All right, here's the guy that I first saw about 3 days ago. Let's check it. Got a gun, yeah. He looks like he's got shorts on, yeah. Khaki shorts at that, okay. And it looks like he has got some sort of tan shirt on. Everything from what I'm seeing from this image says this guy's a Fed or law enforcement or something. So that's my thing. Okay, we got that one. So we got numero uno con un pistola. But wait, there's more. Then we got these three guys. They look similar, but they're not. So you got a guy right here with a gun. He's holding it very awkwardly. I'm not sure why. But the cat in the red hat here has got a gun and a shoulder bag. Then we got the dude here in the blue, also with a pistol. He's doing that traditional, I've watched all the instructional videos on how to hold. And then we got a guy in the background here. You could say he's got a gun. I can't confirm nor deny that. But he looks very fetty or very, security, policia, whatever you want to say. He doesn't look like he's just chilling, having a good time. So there's that. But wait, there's more. Then we got this guy with a gun. This could be the same dude from earlier. Maybe this is just a better image because this does appear to be khaki pants, dude with a pistol. Let me go back one here. Let me check this out. No, it can't be that dude. All right, can't be that dude. The first image guy had a different color shirt on and he had no hat. So even though that first image was real grainy and cruddy, it appears on this one quite clearly we got a different dude here. So we got a bare minimum of 4 people on the ground with guns, pistols, not long rifles anyway. So that's my take on all that. Well, we got all that down, eh? I wanted to go back because I didn't cover this quite aptly enough in the very beginning. Let's do a little reading, shall we? Here's what they want you to believe. This is the mainstream media, the not so mainstream media, and I guess everybody but me and like 5 people. Everybody else is like, we got our man. It's all taken care of. This is what they want you to believe. Dudes in their early 20s, even though they're trannies and something, they're going to talk like this. Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard. When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Woo. Roommate says, what? You're joking, right? I am still okay, my love. But I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. Ooh. This is the mess. I'm reading it intentionally, sarcastically. Because this is the mess that I believe CNN was like, oh, it's so romantic. It's so beautiful. It's so, Anyone, aside from it being, anyone who reads this and thinks that like 20-year-old kids wrote this is dumb as a box of rocks. I'm sorry. This is asinine, straight up lies. This is a funny version that I found online that I thought was just too hilarious. This is obviously a fabrication here, but it's pretty much what they are trying to pass off as legitimate to the American public. They want you, like, here's this document that proves everything we said was true. Here's this document that proves it was James Earl Ray that killed MLK. Here's this document that proves that it was Sirhan Sirhan that killed RFK. Here's this document that proves, in fact, that Lee Harvey Oswald was the only guy involved. You know what I mean? Like, it's so mind-numbingly stupid. It's hard to believe that anybody really buys this mess. It really is. Until you forget, like, yo, this is land of the sheep, home of the slave. This is America, folks. I mean, Americans will believe anything. I mean, they wore a mask for 2 years. Remember that? They ran around like flowers for Algernon, like a bunch of complete dopes for 2 blipping years. And nobody was the wiser. Good grief, folks. I don't know if we can have like full audio on this or not. Let's see if we can.
Mr. Prime Minister, Secretary Rubio, all of the wonderful people who made this possible by their generosity, contributing to something that is historic and something that is a living memorial of what God has done. It was 4,000 years ago here in this city on Mount Moriah where God chose his people. He not only chose a people, but he chose a place. And then he chose for the people in this place a purpose. The people were the Jewish people. The place was Israel.
Of course.
And the purpose was to be a light to the world and to show that we don't have to look for God because he is looking for us. And that is what so separates the long history of why this city is so important. It's also a reminder to us that this little bitty sliver of real estate on the vast planet Earth is the most contested piece of land in all of human history. Not because of just those who want it, but because of those who...
I can't stomach much more of this, folks. I'm going to fast forward to the end because it gets even stupider.
...is eternal, everlasting purpose. And I salute you and join you tonight in the celebration of this wonderful, magnificent, incredible reminder that God never has been finished with Israel.
Oh no, God's not finished with Israel, I tell you. Okay, so that was Huckabee, ambassador to Israel. You already saw him a couple days ago with Rubio making out with the wall. I saw more video of today where they had to remove their crosses before approaching said wall, and then wear the special hat, and then only then could they appropriately make out with the wall. So that was Rubio and Huckabee, both of them. And this is Huckabee once again just being like, yo, there's a chosen people, everybody else is scum, even though the Talmud tells you that that's not the case. But you know, these people keep buying this Judeo-Christian thing. So that's all I got to say about that. Wait, there's more because we got to hear from old Marco. Breaking. I hate breaking. I'm so sick of hearing this breaking mess. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Breaking. Rubio promises Netanyahu unwavering support to Israel in Gaza goals. Do, 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 do. I don't know how overused breaking is. You know, I mean, unless you're talking about the movie Breaking, I don't want to hear it because it's always the biggest load of horse manure you've ever heard. I heard some mess. I can't remember what the heck it was. It was something from Pam Bondi. I think it was yesterday or today. And it's always like breaking. It's not breaking. All right. Just knock it off. This is not a news flash to anybody. Nothing that I've heard from anything in mainstream or alternative media in the last like 5 years, almost nothing has been breaking. It's always like, I don't even remember what the Pam Bondi thing. It was like the most dumb mess in the world. It was like they finally got some evidence that Biden was trafficking kids. I'm like, what? You mean they finally got some evidence that the Gulf of Tonkin was a false flag? They finally got some evidence that there is salt in the Atlantic Ocean. They finally gleaned the evidence that Hunter Biden had a laptop full of pornographic images of children on it. They finally figured out that Ted Bundy killed some people. Breaking. They finally figured out that Al Capone lived in Chicago. Breaking. Mexico City is in Mexico. It's just so flipping stupid, folks. So dumb. I can't possibly stomach the entirety of this one. I'm going to play you this little snippet of this one. This is BB. So he can tell you that Israel had nothing to do with the Charlie Kirk assassination.
The Nazi propaganda minister said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he
told me
a
I tell
few
you.
months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel.
Okay, I cannot take it anymore. I'm sorry, BB. I'm gonna have to cut you off, Beebs. You know, forget Justin Bieber. It's BB that I'm interested in. I mean, gracious goodness, Justin Bieber is nothing compared to Biebs, the real Biebs. BB might be the OGB. He might be the OGBB, way more important than Justin Bieber. I mean, way more important than Magellan, whatever that other stuff. I can't even. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it normal and not make fun of other people. Anyway, yeah, I'm saying BB definitely usurps the cool of Justin Bieber and Magellan and quantum mechanics and everything else that you're probably thinking of right now. BB, you know, he's like JD Vance. That's not his real name either. But then basically no prime minister that Israel has ever had has used their real name, nor are actually Israeli. They're all Ukrainians and people from Poland. It's just hilarious. All right. So yeah, Biebs assured you that he had nothing to do with the thing and the stuff. Oh my gosh. It's like the cartoons again. I often reference the cartoons, but it's like, you know, which way did he go? Which way did it's like that's the American people. That's the American mentality. They just Charlie Kirk said he was a huge ally. I mean, he rejected millions of dollars from me recently, but you know, he was actually waking up to the fact that there's a certain spot that seems to control a whole lot of the nation of the United States, but you know, and he had to reference the Nazis and the Holocaust, even in a speech about nothing even related to that. Joseph Goebbels, you know, tell a big lie. It's got to be a biggest lie and everybody will believe it. And I'm like, good grief. Are you trying to tell us that you're just BSing us for the 19,000th time? Because it seems like that's what you're trying to tell us. It's cool because, you know, eyes to see and ears to hear. Then maybe you can figure this one out too. This Joker. We need to zoom in on his puss because this guy's an attractive guy. And look at him. My goodness gracious. He might be a transformer more than meets the eye too. I don't know. Billionaire Larry Ellison says a vast AI-fueled surveillance system can ensure ensure citizens will be on their best behavior. Okay, so in case you missed it, this is the same low-life, floor-flushing scumbag that said the same thing after the Minnesota shootings about a week and a half ago, the Catholic school that was up there. He said the same thing right after that. He was like waiting. He was like waiting in the wings like a little satanic demon to like swoop down like a gargoyle creature and like, ooh, I've got something for you. Yeah, we can piggyback it into Palantir and you'll all die. It's like in Terminator. But yeah, he had to come forward again being like, yo, I got the solution for you. I'm Larry Ellison. I have no connections to that greatest ally across the sea. I do not, I tell you. I do not. But, you know, so that's going to be the crux of this. A friend and I were talking. He was telling me this, and I was like, that's a brilliant deduction, my friend. He was saying, yo, they're going to call it like the Charlie Kirk bill, and the whole bill will be laced with anti-American, anti-Constitution, anti-Bill of Rights. It's like the Patriot Act. They have to give you something that is the antithesis of what it is. And they'll call the bill like that. We love you. We just want to kiss you and give you lots of love and money. And it's really like a bill to castrate you and put you in a hellfire pit for life. So they're going to come out with something called the Charlie Kirk bill. I guarantee it's in the works by these boobs, probably the 200 plus people that were across the sea visiting our greatest ally. Maybe they got to make out with a wall with Rubio and Huckabee. I hope so. I mean, that wall, I'm telling you, buddy. I'm not going to make the jokes. The jokes make themselves. I'm not going to turn it into what my brain wants to turn it into. I'm going to resist the dark side of the force. I'm just saying it's going to be called the Charlie Kirk bill. His name's going to somehow be in it. And they're going to have JD, what's his name? Erica Kirk and old DJT. They're going to be the ones ushering in this bill. And they're going to use all that emotion, all that parasocial emotion, all that social contagion that I talked about last night, because Erica's going to usher it in and she's going to do the tears thing. And everybody's going to be like, oh my goodness, this is going to help us so much. It's going to be like the Patriot Act and it's going to be great. And maybe we can disappear into a camp. And all we got to do is just not be a terrorist, whatever that means. And that's going to be the crux of this whole thing, folks. You're going to be labeled a terrorist whether or not you're a terrorist or not. The whole 9/11 thing was just to get you used to the fact that the Constitution's a piece of toilet paper and we can just disappear people into Guantanamo Bay. Or as I mentioned many times on the show, and nobody seems to be able to figure this one out, the black site that was in Chicago. It was at least 8 years ago. It made the news cycle for like 2 days, disappeared. No más hablando. No más. Not another word. It was a black site in Chicago where the government can just disappear you. And I guess they were like, shucks, I know what a good smokescreen will be. We'll have gang violence in Chicago and no one will remember the black site. Doo-doo-doo. Anyway, so yeah, the Charlie Kirk bill is going to be great. It's going to be ushered in by DJT, Erica Kirk, and JD, what's his name? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be coupled with Palantir. It's going to make sure you take it in the rear if you even remotely criticize our greatest ally. If you say anything that is probably antithetical to the invasion from other loving countries, and you just better toe the company line. Or what's that dude say? What's he say? Oh, Lair's saying, yo, dude, be on your best behavior. We're going to whisk your butt away to Guantanamo Bay. Just wait. Charlie Kirk bill's coming for you. You thought you were going all 1776. You bunch of chumps. Get out of here. Ain't nothing happening, but nothing changing but the date. What else we got to get into with this whole thing? Discord. Discord was the alleged private chat area for the Patsy and his lover. I can't recall this dude's name. Bucket of Sticks or Tree Trunk or something stupid. Yeah. So anyway, so this dude allegedly, I'm had all the daggum names pulled up. I'm just gonna pull these screens out of my way because they're getting in the way. I don't like that. No way. Anyway, so you had Sticks talking to his alleged gay lover, the tranny-ish dude, and they were supposedly talking on Discord, and the government went, yes, everybody's buying this BS. This is awesome. And then the CEO of Discord was like, no, actually, there was no communication about anything even remotely dark side of the force. So alas, you were wrong. What else we got? This is what I was going to put the name of the show as just lies. I was going to put a big strip of lies across the header here. And I didn't. But I was really thinking, I often listen to a bunch of music while I'm just kind of pontificating the show. And I love the old punk band 999 from across the pond. They have a great song called Lies. Lie, 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 it's a lie. And that's exactly what this is. So I've been listening to all these different pundits. What do they want to call themselves? Influencers. The alternative media, which is the most hysterically not alternative anymore, but I digress. And so here's like the rundown of the funny that you got going on in the past few days. Because you've got Candace giving everybody the bait on the hook for at least 48, 72 hours, saying like, if I don't hear something coming out about this, he was my friend, I'm going to release the stuff. And everybody's going, okay, we'll just get on with it. It's kind of like the Corey Feldman thing where he's like, I'm going to release all the stuff. I just need some money, and then I'll release all the stuff. And I'm like, that's dumb, folks. If you've got any kind of stuff, the quote unquote stuff to release, you should probably just go ahead and release it. That's a good way to end up like the DC Madam. I'll never hang myself. Found hanging her in her garage the very next day. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't be dumb. So if you got any stuff, just throw it out like candy to parade, man. You got to. Anyway, Candace was all on this bent, like, oh, I got all this stuff. I'm going to release this stuff. He's my friend. And then the coup de grace was, he was turning Catholic. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Like, what? Who cares? So allegedly, Charles Kirk was on his way to Catholicism. I don't know. Just don't know. Maybe the Jesuit influence of Erica was getting to him. I don't know. Maybe it was just, he wanted to do like the more calisthenic-based religion where you go the knee and you stand and you sit, and the knee and you stand and you sit. You know, the Catholic way is way more calisthenic-oriented than Protestant. You add an extra step. The Protestant is just sit, stand, sit, stand. The Catholic, they throw that extra step in there. You got the knee bump, which is different. I mean, there's a lot of other differences, but I didn't mean to get off on this, Jack. So anyway, so you had Candace saying, yo, I'm about to drop this info bomb. And then she's like, oh, just kidding. What? She was intimating that there's all some kind of connections to Israel. And then she's backpedaling, backtracking. Maybe she got some money out the deal. She doesn't need any because she's married that very wealthy European cat, right? British? I don't know. Whatever. So I don't know. Maybe she just decided to abruptly about face and be like, yo, I got all this information. And now I'm not going to release it, I guess. Does that add up? But again, she did release today the timestamp video, I guess still from a video showing that our would-be killer was actually 15 minutes away, just chilling, I guess, in line, picking up some food or something. He just seemed to be having like a normal day. Totally unaware that he was about to become the next big patsy of the 21st century. What else we got? Then you got Nick Fuentes. And again, this is why I said 2 shows ago, I'll clean it up a little bit. People be lying, or else they just, I don't know, man. I just do not know. You got Nick Fuentes coming out for the last 2 days, and maybe Tree saying, I don't know who it was, but it wasn't Israel. Nothing says it was Israel. No, it wasn't Israel. I'll tell you what, it wasn't him. I mean, I'm not hedging my bets on it being Israel, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the Man in the Moon. I don't know, man. Maybe it was. Maybe the CIA has resurrected the clones of James Earl Ray, the clones of. Oh my goodness! I was going to say Jimmy Hoffa. Maybe they got Jimmy Hoffa too. Maybe he was doing some hits on the side. I'm just fooling. Maybe they've resurrected the ghosts or clones of some of these old school assassins, and maybe it's John Wilkes Booth, and they've like formed the Justice League of killers, and they're just pulling these guys out of a hat. You know, I don't know, man. All Nick knows is it won't the Netanyahu types. It won't them. Okay, I guess at this point, nothing should be off the table. Okay, it very well could be the man in the moon at this point. I'm just saying it could be anybody. I know who it probably isn't. The cat they got in jail. Who else? Who else is on the front? AJ, Alex Jones. When this whole thing first popped, it was like, it sure ain't Israel. It's not Israel. Now he's kind of backpedaling a little bit like, all right, it could be Israel, but it's probably not Israel. You know, he's going with straight party line. It is exactly what the government told us. You know, I swear to God, I never thought I would see the day where Alex Emmerich Jones was on his show and more just saying, yep, it was what the government told us. I mean, I must be living in some sort of bizarro world dream. It's just nuttier than a fruitcake out there, man. And I'm not even saying Alex is a bad dude for this. I'm saying anyone that has looked into anything that is covered by this show, his show, and like the 20 million other shows that do this, I suppose now, has a pretty solid history of political assassinations in this country. We're just talking in los Estados Unidos, aquí. We're not even talking like Central America, South America, and all parts in between. We're just talking like in the United States, okay? So if we want to look back and go to Abraham Lincoln, if you look into that, it's pretty cut and dry. It won't John Wilkes Booth, okay? Sorry to break it to you. It won't that guy. JFK, sorry to break it to you. It wasn't a lone gunman, all right? It was not that guy. MLK, sorry. It won't that guy either. I'm just, we want to go to John Lennon. Sorry again, wasn't that guy. MLK, JFK, RFK. Once again, it wasn't that guy either. I mean, it's just, so even if you just look at statistically, let's just take the small sample size of the names I just mentioned. There's more, but if you want to look at the short end of the stick here, like, short, small control study here. All of those, it wasn't the guy that the media told you it was. Okay? So based on that evidence alone, you could not convince me that anything that the official party line of the government tells you is true. I'm just being factual here, folks. You want to roll down some other lists of things that the government shows that's not true at all? We've already talked about Gulf of Tonkin. It didn't happen. Pearl Harbor, obviously an inside job. I mean, stuff happened, but it was well known. It was happening beforehand. The guy had the blipping letter wrote the night before. Didn't happen, folks. Not like that. Sinking of the Maine, sinking of the Lusitania, all stuff that were inside jobs at the very least. Alfred F. Murrow building, didn't happen the way they told you it did. 9/11, sure as bleep didn't happen the way it told you it did. Waco, sure as bleep didn't happen the way it told you it did. So based on all the evidence, there's people on the alleged alternative media and the mainstream media that want you to buy this bill of goods. They want you to go on the snipe hunt every day on social media and pull out like more rectal facts and like, oh, let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. More rectal facts. And you are supposed to believe that all these things are going to corroborate the evidence that they put before you, that it's a tranny dude with a rifle that he's somehow put in his pants, got on a roof, broke it down, taking it apart, put it back together, get down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton, and he somehow drops it. And then, like the whole thing, you got to be a special kind of stupid to buy into this legit mainstream narrative of how it all went down. It's just completely insane. So, that is exactly why we're absolutely on the snipe hunt fatigue. There's got to be something you can take for this snipe hunt fatigue. It has to be. Not sure what it is, but I think that we can do better. We've got to get better psyops. I mean, they've got to get better at the psyops. I didn't even talk about this, but I mean, this kind of should be self-evident here. There's no way in 2025 of even understanding, knowing, or in any way appreciating that any of the film footage that any of us have seen is even legitimate. There's just not. I mean, I was joking about the Bigfoot Patterson Gimlin film from the 60s or the Zapruder film from the 60s. Heavily redacted, heavily chopped up, any way you cut it, pun intended, heavily edited. So the proverbial general public is going to be led to believe that in 2025, when you could get on AI right now and say, I would like to create a polar bear riding a bicycle, with moose antlers and a purple straitjacket on, riding down my street. And it'll give you that, folks. So we're supposed to believe, though, all the narratives and all the media and all the film footage and all the stock footage. It's all legitimate. Just here's our guy. Don't look any further. Just let's go with this. Remember, we're going to pass the Kirk bill in a couple of weeks, and everybody's going to love it because they've bought into the emotional contagion of the PSYOP. And in closing, folks, I'm not saying all this to say the man didn't die. I'm not saying all this to say it wasn't a tragedy. Excuse me. What I am saying is, come on now. Come on. We got to do better. We've got to do better. Maybe it's all as planned. Maybe, 1 out of 100 times they got it, I guess. Maybe this is really the killer. Maybe he really did it with that rifle they found in the woods. Maybe he stuck it in his pants, got up on the roof, broke it down, the whole 9 yards. Maybe that actually happened, but just not buying it. Just not buying it. Okie dokie. Yeah, somebody put Building 7 up there. Yeah, good call on that one, man. Building 7 is another hilarity. And when I say hilarity, somebody's go, oh my God, he's blaspheming. He's talking bad about these people. No, I'm saying it's hilarious. The psyops that have been run on the American public and the stupidity that they believe it. That's really what I'm saying. So it's not funny. It's sad. It really is a sad, sad thing. Okie dokie. I have rambled on just a little bit. I was trying to actually go the extra mile there because the show got all so wacky in the beginning. God willing, we'll be here on Tuesday of next week at 11:30 to 12:30. Maybe I'll just start trying to get all the bugs out at 11:30 and the show will actually get on at 12. I don't know. I had several flawless shows and then everything has just gone bluey here in the last couple. I apologize for the unknown technical difficulties. Only seems to happen when everything goes live. But I digress. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Please get out there, do your part, make a difference. Have a nice weekend. Try to be good to each other. Be careful out there. Lock and load. Stay vigilant. Eyes up always. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the anomic age.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.
Thank you.